Hello and welcome to Education Chat, where we talk about all the latest happening in education in the Inland Empire. I'm your host, Alyssa Ray.
And I'm your co-host, Alysha Paulino.
And in today's episode, we're asking students from all over, is college really worth it? What do you think, Alysha? In your experience, is it worth it?
No. Just kidding. Honestly, the answer is yes and no. The pressure can be overwhelming because there's a stigma that if you drop out of college, you are a failure. And if you take a gap year, you lose motivation in school. I also worry about the workforce and if I will be able to find a job once I graduate. But I know above all that it's a privilege to say that I am a college student. So my answer is mixed. What about you, Alyssa?
That's such a tough question for me because on one hand, it is such a privilege to receive higher education and it does open a few extra doors. But on the other hand, there's still a lot of uncertainty about the future, even with a degree. I know that so many soon to be graduates are just terrified to enter the workforce because they don't have the slightest idea of what's out there and where to start. I was fortunate enough to gain work experience after graduating, but I know that that's not the case for most people. It really just depends, and that can be really scary.
Yeah, I agree 100% because everyone's answers are so different. And that is why we thought that would be a really good topic for our first show.
Definitely. Today, we are joined by two special guests who have thoughts of their own. First, we'll be speaking with Luis, a recent college graduate, and later compare answers with our next guest, Marlynne, who is currently enrolled in community college. Hi, Luis. Welcome to Education Chat. Can you tell us a bit about yourself?
Hi, thank you for having me. My name is Luis Manuel Sid Robles. I am a CSUSB alumni. I just graduated this spring.
Well, thank you for taking the time to be here. We really do appreciate it. And the first question I wanted to ask you was, what impact has earning your degree made in your life?
Family wise and mentally, it has lifted the entire world off my shoulders. I'm a DACA student. I moved here 21 years ago, and right from the get go, we were expected to have a degree, have a college education, and go on in life and do great things. So this impacted me mentally. It just lifted everything off my shoulders, off the pressure of my parents.
I think a common fear that most graduates share is the fear of not finding work after college. How has it been finding work since graduating? Was it harder than expected? Did your campus help to give you resources like on the job market? What has that been like for you?
It was a blessing in disguise. I personally asked my professor way months before I graduated. I asked her if I can get like an internship or something after I graduate. And then out of nowhere, they said, "Oh, because of certain circumstances, you cannot be an intern." But I was given the opportunity of being an emergency hire. And with this professor, she has only done that once before 15 years ago. And for me personally, finding a job was just random. I was not expecting an actual, job opportunity so fast. I was just going for internship, but out of nowhere, she stuck her foot in the door at the campus, at the Paulino Desert campus of CSUSB, and I was given a shot to work there, and in a few months I also get another huge opportunity at the same campus.
Yeah, that's really good to hear. I'm so happy for you because that doesn't happen often. That's
It does.
amazing.
There is so much pressure to continue in higher education, but sometimes that pressure can seem really overwhelming. And maybe for others, they might feel as though they're just not cut out for college. What advice do you have for students who aren't sure that they want to go to college?
There's so much that you can get in life, and so much money you can earn, and so much things you can get from life. Why not take advantage of it and reap the rewards? Just keep. I have a friend. His family owns a restaurant, and he said, "You know what? I'm not even. I'm thinking about just leaving college because my parents already said that they'll give me the restaurant." I told him one huge difference I've noticed from working like just a couple months and stuff at the campus and stuff is how big a difference that piece of paper can make to how much you work and things like that. So like I say is if you find something, just pick around classes and see what you really like, and it'll be so easy. And once you're done with everything, it's just a great feeling. that you've conquered something.
So our last question for you, which I think is pretty clear based on your answers, we want to know, in your opinion, do you think that college is worth it?
I definitely do. Definitely. It opens up so many doors and so many opportunities. I'm starting to see changes with my family that I never thought I would see. Like a few years ago, I was thinking, like, is this gonna be it? Like, just being in an apartment with all my family and having okay cars, going to work, coming back, seeing the same stuff. But since I've graduated, I've been seeing changes throughout my life and my family's life, and soon I will see things I never imagined. Like what we're thinking about buying a house for the first time, and we're thinking about buying a huge one, not just any little small little one story house. Right, we're thinking about going all out and living comfortably for once, not always thinking about are we gonna have food for the next week or paying rent or anything like this. This degree and higher education has opened up so many doors for my families. I believe it is worth it.
That was really touching and powerful. And I'm sure that a lot of first generation students can relate to that. I relate to that. Like I do see, the changes that have come in my life since having a degree. And that really touched my heart, like thinking about what you said about, finally living comfortable for once. I had that too when I was a child. Like we rented for most of my life,
Mm-hmm.
house to house, and like just so much uncertainty. And so now, it is a big blessing to have that. And I didn't think about that until now, until you said that. So that's really great. I'm really happy for you.
Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you.
And hearing you two's like stories, excuse me, as graduates, I'm in my third year right now. And it just makes me, you guys are talking about how the pressure is lifted off, how you feel free, how you feel comfortable. And I'm like, I'm waiting for that feeling. So, very inspirational hearing you talk, especially as a first generation student myself.
Thank you again for sharing your story, coming on. I can't wait to see the difference between your answer and our next guest, since she is in community college and she still has a bit of a ways to go. So yeah, thank you so much for being our first guest officially on Education Chat. Now we're speaking with our next guest, Marlynne, who's currently a community college student. Hi, Marlynne. How are you? Can you tell us a bit about yourself?
I go to Barstow Community College. I am studying to be an elementary teacher. I have already an AA in humanities, so I'm finishing up my second one in child development. And then I'm currently a student trustee at Barstow.
Well, thank you for taking the time to come on to Education Chat. We appreciate it. So the first question we wanted to ask you is, what impact do you hope having a degree will have in your life?
So the impact that will have helped me to have is actually working as an elementary teacher. I plan on transferring to a CSU next fall and starting my bachelor's degree. But I'm hoping to start my process with my teaching credentials and to just be an elementary teacher and just, help students and for them to, be successful like us.
So we're asking students a lot about like their fears and hopes for after graduation. There's a lot of different fears that people have, such as like paying off student debt and being able to find work, most importantly. So what are your hopes and fears after graduating?
My hopes is just to stay motivated, to try and do your best. For me, I worked with special needs kids, so I learned to get like my CPR, my first aid, letter recommendations. That helped me to get that job. So kind of having a few certificates and just applying is very good for yourself and for your resume. And eventually something will pop up good for yourself, and not to get too stressed out, because if not, then it's not very helpful for yourself and your own like schoolwork that you're trying to do. So something eventually will come up, but just, stay motivated and stay focused.
That's a really good segue into our next question, which is that there is so much pressure to continue higher education. But sometimes that pressure can seem really overwhelming, and maybe for others they might feel as though they're just not cut out for school. So what advice do you have for a student who wasn't sure that they wanted to go to college?
The advice that I can give is, give yourself 3 careers that you think that you would be capable of doing and that you would enjoy doing. If you do think that, one of those is for you, then go for it. If not, just start with your general ed classes and then just go from there.
Although your educational journey isn't finished yet, we just wanted to ask, in your opinion, do you think that this is all going to be worth it in the end? What are your thoughts on having a degree? Is it worth all of this like chaos and stress in the moment?
For me, yes, I think it is, because I just think that we all have different paths that we go to, and we all go through different things. But if there is something that we enjoy career wise, then we should go for it and not give up, regardless of whatever issue or situation we are in. I just say, us just doing what we got to do and do what's best for us. At the end of the day, it's going to be worth it. And for me, I also plan on going for my master's. So that for me, it's top. So first starting my bachelor's and then go to my master's, and just being a teacher and just helping children be successful like us.
And I can tell you're passionate. So I do wish you the best in your educational journey. You're talking about how you just want to see students succeed, and how you work with special needs children as well. So I just wish you the best moving forward.
Thank you. I really appreciate
Same
it.
here.
Thank you.
That was really interesting to see the different perspectives from a college graduate and a current college student. If you were to ask me if college is worth it, I think that if you have the money, or if you're eligible for financial aid and you have the drive to complete your degree, I think college is 100% worth it. It opens up so many possibilities for you. It expands your mind and the way that you perceive the world. However, I will be the first one to tell you right here, right now on Education Chat, that college isn't always in the cards for everyone. I kind of hate that college is forced down a lot of people's throats. Don't hate me. I know this is like an education podcast and we're talking about this, and I'm all for education, okay? But like, I think there needs to be a conversation that's opened up that like college isn't for everyone. Like that people have different life paths, and I think that ultimately it's up to you to decide if you'd like to obtain a degree or find success in another way. And if you feel like college isn't for you, I feel like you shouldn't ever feel pressured into it. But know that there are a lot of benefits to getting a degree. It's like, just choose whatever works for you.
Exactly, because everyone has all these different lifestyles. And when it comes to college, it's such a taboo topic. Like if you don't go, like I mentioned, you're a failure. And if for some reason, personal issues come up and you don't go, you are still a failure. So when it comes to college, it's like you can't win in a sense, especially when you're young and, people are like, you have this drive and you should just do it. But college is not for everyone. And piggybacking off of you, Alyssa, you mentioned the cards of everyone. And that is so important to discuss, because we're all dealt different decks of cards, but it is ultimately our decision as the students to do what we want with it. And it's true that college is not for everyone, but having that determination can really get you a long way and even surprise you at times. I know for me, it surprised me on so many different occasions, and it is still surprising me to this day, because I am a transfer student. And it seems that I am not cut out for college despite being this far in my education. And having those doubts is normal. But you just have to remember that your path is different from everyone else's, and to make sure not to compare yourself to the student next to you, because no two decks are the same.
Yes, no two decks are the same.
No two decks.
Don't be comparing yourself. I love this. I love that we were able to have a candid conversation, and this is the type of content that we want to bring to you every second and fourth Wednesday of the month here on Education Chat. We are here to open up a discussion, a conversation with students around the Inland Empire and beyond. So if you liked all of this that you're hearing, this has been the first episode, and we have covered a lot today, I think, and more is to come, definitely. I just want to reiterate that this is a place for students to be their authentic self and respond truthfully, because those are the answers that we need to hear as a collective.
If you liked this episode, please make sure to give it a thumbs up and drop a comment down below of future topics you'd like us to cover. Make sure to subscribe to GIA's channel and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss any future episodes. Join us every second and fourth Wednesday of every month. See you next time. Bye.